Welcome everyone to another episode of Football 101. I am your host Joshua de Matos. Yes, it's a Tuesday evening. Football has been completed this past weekend, and guess what? We're going to spend a whole hour talking about each and every match. Well, not each and every match, but at least the games with the big teams. We're going to be talking Premier League for a major part in this show. I'm going to touch on La Liga as well. But before we get into the discussion, let's take a look back at the scorelines in this past weekend's Premier League action.
The headline before the game was "Be ready." The headline after the game is very mature. That's how it is. It's you see the game, or you saw the game, and it's obviously a big challenge for everybody to stay calm and to stay in the situation, to stay concentrated, because each little situation can be a massive threat or counter-attack or whatever.
I am really very happy with the result. I was really very happy with the performance in Tottenham. Today we started very well, I think, for 10 minutes. But after the goal, I think that we thought now is easy, but it wasn't.
Spurs, they're flying at the moment. They score goals. They've got some fantastic players, and we defended really well. We had a fantastic goalkeeper, obviously.
Today, to talk about the game is that, of course, that we were better. I think we dominate the game. We create more chances than them. And the second half, we create 11 shots on target. That is, we're 11 safe from the keeper. But of course, it was a game and a battle in between Tottenham and Manchester United.
So those are the scorelines of all 10 games in the Premier League this past weekend. Now, I'm not alone on the set. I have joined with me Nikolai Marjorie and Marcus Balusing, a clear supporter of Liverpool. Not sure what team you're supporting there.
Yeah.
The Blue of Barca, I could say.
Yeah.
Right. So we're talking Premier League football. Start things off. We have to talk about the biggest game of the weekend, Tottenham versus Manchester United. It finished 1-0 to Manchester United. Rashford on the score sheet. But the game itself wasn't, I would say, when he went to plan for Manchester United in the first half. The second half was dominated by Spurs. De Gea put on a world-class performance. What were your thoughts on the game for this weekend?
Well, to start off with, De Gea, he had that wonderful game. 11 saves in a half of football in the second half, protecting a 1-0 lead. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people saying that how he didn't. A lot of shots came directly at him, but positioning as a goalkeeper will have you in that position to make it look as though you didn't even need to move to make a save.
Definitely. They were talking about Lloris and him and comparing him. And during the halftime of the show, Ryan Giggs was commentating, and he said with the goal that Rashford scored, he said if De Gea was there, he would have saved it. And it's like you said, it's position. Even though the balls came to hit his foot, it was because of where he was positioned.
I think the strikers of Man U have an advantage because training against a top-class goalkeeper, you have to find the bottom corners. And if you watch Rashford finish, it was in the bottom corner, away from Lloris. So a good keeper might not be able to do that. True. But because you're training every week, week in, week out.
Spurs, they're flying at the moment.
To find these bottom corners, to find which part the keeper cannot reach, because everything else the keeper reaching.
Definitely.
As Spurs saw. So it enhances the finishing of the strikers as well, especially in training. And the one-off opportunities they get when they have to put the ball into the back of the net, they can do it. Whereas as Spurs, you see, they had their opportunities, but he was just that guy in the goal that they couldn't beat.
Definitely, and I think as he make one save, two saves, it will get into the head of the strikers of the Tottenham strikers, and you would see that they would know that they have to come up with something special. But Marcus, Rashford, 5 goals in 6 games thus far for Manchester United. It looks as though since Ole took over, he really has found his form.
Yeah, well, the shackles are off now. From Jose to Ole Gunnar Solskjær, shackles are certainly off, and he's playing a bit more central now, and he's really upped his game. Obviously being fed a lot by Paul Pogba, having more creativity around him, having a fluid front three, Martial, Rashford, and Lingard, has helped him. He has the pace to get in behind, run the channels, and he takes the one-off chances.
True.
So he has so much potential, and I'm glad he's finally living up to the potential of scoring and carrying the number 10 for Manchester United.
And definitely when it comes to Ole, I remember he said in a press conference that he actually has one-on-one training with Rashford. Ole Gunnar being a striker himself, a super sub in his day. And you could have seen the difference between when Jose was in control and when Ole was in control, because at point in time, Jose actually, when speaking about Rashford, said you either have the talent or you don't. And with Ole, he took a totally different...
Well, right now, man, you're playing Ole football because
That's
the
true.
passes are coming through the attacking football that we know these players could play, but they were restricted under Mourinho. I used to say that before, but because of the different brand. So now that they get to express
Spurs, they're flying at the moment.
But have more space and being a little more creative with the ball. He not restricted as much, so he can use the space as he wants. He can do different things, and the players are feeding off of each other more and playing more attacking football. So this opens up the field for Man U, and it can carry them far this season.
Yeah, and we're speaking about the new manager of Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjær, and let's hear a little bit of what he had to say at the end of this game, Tottenham versus Manchester United.
Spurs, they're flying at the moment. They score goals. They've got some fantastic players, and we defended really well. We had a fantastic goalkeeper, obviously. We got the best goalkeeper in the world. I've said that many times, and we've got blistering pace up front. And then the goal was fantastic goal by Rash. It's a hard skill, you know, to score from that angle with the right foot, with the instep. I thought it was going to go near post, but it was a well-struck finish.
Yeah, clearly you can see Ole is praising his goalkeeper there, David De Gea. So we spoke about Rashford being in that number 9 role. That leaves out a certain Lukaku. Now, when we see Lukaku in the Manchester United team, it's clear he slows down the play of the way they're playing at this point in time. Do you think that Lukaku even has a chance still to come back in the scene? Do you think it's wise for him, or should he be looking at other options as it pertains to moving to a different club?
Well, right now, man, you're playing with the plan E. Plan E is working.
Right.
That's plan attack. No, you
Attack.
Attack. Right? So you never know. Maybe when they come up against a tougher opponent with a different backline, with something different that they need, he can provide a different outlet for them. Now, he might not have the greatest first touch, but the hold-up play that he saw, because he saw it with Belgium when he was playing with them, and he's a big in the air, so if you need to go route one football, you could always use him as a target man. But to say that that's where Ole wants to start his attack from, clearly he wouldn't fit in there, but it's always good to have someone coming off the bench as well, like with such talent.
Yeah, and Marcus, I know we spent a lot of time on Manchester United, but I want to touch on Tottenham. For those of you who don't know, Harry Kane got injured at the end of the game. He's out for over a month. He had some tear in his ligaments in his ankle.
His eyes too.
Exactly. So he's going to be out for at least, I would say at least, they said early March he's coming back into training. So that's a really tough blow for Tottenham. Sissoko as well pulled up with a hamstring injury, and they have the list of other injuries. I think it's clear to say that Tottenham no longer are fighting for that top place in Premier League.
Never say never. I mean, Pochettino has done extremely well.
So you think they could still win the Premier League this season?
Anybody could win anything. You know that. But at the end of the day, they're really short in the striker department. Harry Kane has been carrying them. We both know that. Harry Kane, and they've been dependent on Christian Eriksen a lot. And I know Sissoko is having a good year so far. So I think they would have to buy big in January because
they're forced to now.
Yeah, they're forced to go into the market, and the market is inflated. So they're gonna pay a pound and a crown. We just spoke about Lukaku, so I could imagine for a good striker how much he'll pay. No, but they really need to go into the market if they want to keep pace with Liverpool and City.
Yeah, and speaking about Pocher as well, we saw that the talk of the town, you know, he may go to Manchester at the end of the year. With this defeat now, to the person that possibly has the job that you may want, how do you think that has interfered with his choice?
Well, the first thing I thought, and I know you're a Manchester United fan,
Definitely.
but the first thing I thought was that when they sacked Jose and they went to Solskjaer, I was thinking what Woodward should have done is said, well, you have the contract on a temporary basis, and if you perform very well, there's a chance of being the permanent manager of Manchester United. But they haven't done that. They said he is the caretaker manager. So obviously Pochettino is in their sights, right? Daniel Levy and Tottenham is another kettle of fish, right? But he's the manager that they want. He's proven in my book. He just hasn't won a trophy yet. But where he's brought Tottenham from, any club in world football would want Mauricio Pochettino as their manager. So I don't think the defeat impacts him at all, actually. I think Solskjaer, the NIA, will have some pain. So Pochettino will get the nod in the summer, I believe. It's only if they could pry him away from the Tottenham and the developments that Tottenham are doing.
Yeah, so true. We were actually supposed to touch on Arsenal in this segment, but you know, when you start talking about Manchester United, they could just go on and on. So we'll touch on the Arsenal game right after this break. Stay tuned, it's football 1-1 for those to be watching on the live stream. Get interactive. Let us know what are your thoughts as it pertains to this Premier League this season. So we'll be right back after this.
We'll be right back after these messages. Don't forget to join the conversation. Send in your WhatsApp voice notes and messages via the numbers on the screen or hit us a comment on the Facebook Live. We'd love to hear from you.
Every Sunday at 2 p.m. on ACTN The Voice, we will be taking you on a journey down memory lane with our Sunday classics. Relive the moments. Bonanza at 2 p.m. Little House on the Prairie at 3 p.m. Gilligan's Island at 4 p.m. Family Matters at 4:30 p.m. Hogan's Heroes at 5 p.m. The Jeffersons at 5:30 p.m. This is Sunday Classics on ACTN The Voice.
Hey TNT, what's up? This is yours truly Positive, all the way from the beautiful island of Tobago, and you're locked onto ACTN, The Voice. We serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty. Olua is mighty, oh. Blessed love.
In my sickness in my body, we serve a mighty God, mighty, 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 mighty.
Welcome back to Your Health, Your Choice. So he did some of the first illustrations, the actual drawings.
As you know, I'm a community diabetologist. Diabetes is my specialty.
What needs to be done? How you can take responsibility for your health care.
Yes. The gold standard is still the camera.
Welcome back to Football 101. So as I mentioned, we were supposed to talk about Arsenal in that previous segment. We didn't, but we have to because it was a London derby, West Ham versus Arsenal, and it finished 1-0 in favour of West Ham. First time in 12 years West Ham actually defeat the Gunners at home. So good job to them, but a lot of talking points. It looks as though, I would say, the wheels have fallen off as it pertains to Emery, because the way he chose this team, no Ramsey, he came on in the last 20 minutes of the game. Ozil, who has been training, not in the team, and you saw Arsenal really lacking that creativity.
Yeah, they were pinned back a lot in this game. You saw West Ham actually taking the game towards Arsenal, which you wouldn't be expecting after Arsenal started the season so well. You would be expecting them to go out and attack this West Ham side. But it was the opposite way. You see, like West Ham actually laid off a lot of balls on top of the box that they were just against the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And one of the shots went in, and it was that one that actually sealed the 3 points.
Yeah.
So you could say that maybe Emery is just going through a little phase to understand the side, because not all games will have glory, right? You have to have a downfall. So maybe now he can pick up himself, see where he went wrong, and try to adjust. But also he have to watch out, because Man U is right under his skin, coming to take that fourth spot.
Definitely. I want to move on to the other game that took place, Liverpool versus Brighton. I know, Balo, you would want to spend some time on this one. Liverpool with a 1-0 victory. Not the victories you're accustomed to in Liverpool this season as it pertains to the fluent football. It looked as though it was a bit...
Manchester United.
They could say that, yeah, but it took a penalty. Salah getting the winning goal at the end, but Liverpool still 4 points clear at the top.
Yeah, still 4 points clear. A gritty game. Chris Hughton does a good job at Brighton. They managed to not play any football at all. and intentionally tried to stop and I think hurt Liverpool at times. But I think Fabinho is excellent at the back with Virgil van Dijk, who's been our standout player for the year. Salah dropping deep in the second half and running a defense scared them probably. And he has a knack for being robust like that, winning penalties. And I know in the UK papers they call it the diving Salah, but he has a way of wiggling out of a challenge, and he's so strong, and then they have no chance but to pull him down, you know. So we got the 3 points, but it's gritty and we are at the top.
Yeah, but as a Liverpool fan, do you think that Klopp is prioritizing between Champions League and Premier League? Do you think when it comes to February and you'll face up against Bayern Munich that they will have some substitutions in this game?
Yeah, I think he's prioritized everything. I think he learned a lot from his first year at Liverpool. That winter break was a big thing for him, and the amount of injuries he racked up. So I think he's come in now and he said, you know what, I'm going to prioritize. Even when you look at our side of the FA Cup, we had 3 teenagers playing. And you look at Liverpool now and their side for the Premier League and even the Champions League last year and now this year. Also, the type of football we're playing, it's more control now in the Prem. It's more pragmatic type of football. You have that fluid attack, but it's a bit more gritty. I think when it comes to the knockout rounds of the Champions League, and all my friends are probably telling me this, you're going to see that chaotic, all-aggressive football in the knockout rounds, the heavy metal football. And I think he's going to go. I think we're going to go a little far in knockout rounds as well. But I don't think we're going to go all the way because I think the Prem is his main focus. Yeah, well, one last question on Liverpool. We all know that this past weekend we saw Trent Alexander being injured as well. So he's out for at least 3 weeks. And if you look at it, some of the injury list is actually adding up. We see Gomez still being out. So there's Gomez out, there's Lovren out, there's Matip out, there's Trent out. Klein is loaned to Bournemouth, but obviously Klopp is the manager and we're not, and Klein wanted to go, so that's what it is. But I think James Milner could do a job in there. Fabinho could do a job in there. So I trust Klopp, and I think we'll have enough. And you know what? There are some young players that he can play, you know. So hopefully we could get through the next 4 games without
definitely. And I just want to touch on the Chelsea game as well, Chelsea versus Newcastle. And we won't spend much time on them because it's Chelsea. Chelsea actually were victorious by 2-1. A goal by Willian. You don't see that very often, but it was a wonderful strike by him.
Yeah, it's a wonderful strike. It's a wonderful strike. To be honest with you, Chelsea this year, I've been so. That's the best way to describe it in Trini language. Yeah. I think Jorginho has been found out a bit, and the system has been found out. They have the world-class player in Kante and Hazard there, but I think their system is really found out. Also, if they had a striker, they would be challenging because they create a lot of chances, and Morata has really let them down. Yeah. I think they'll go hard in the market. I think Morata will go back to Spain. And if they break the bank and go for Higuain or Icardi, it will be really good. And they will actually be a side worth challenging. Yeah. But for right now, it makes no sense. They're going to create chances and miss them. And with Newcastle, Rafa is in a really poor situation because he has no money to spend. So true. So he's just putting up the grittiest defense he could put and try to cling on to 1-0.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly think if Chelsea don't get a top-notch striker in January, Manchester United, there's a certain Chelsea fan that's looks to be pretty annoyed. But honestly, I think if they don't get a top-notch striker, Manchester United or even Arsenal could possibly get that 4th place. But I'm going to go to a video as it pertains to Manchester United. A lot of fans are talking about what Ole did thus far. So this video pretty sums up what he has done. Let's go to it.
Grandad, please tell us the story of United's legendary win streak again.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Ooh. Wow. In the dark days, there was an evil lord called Mourinho.
The master of draws.
Boring. She brought misery and draws to Man United fans across the land. Even the few actually in Manchester. But then, he was banished by Ed Woodward.
Who's Ed Woodward?
A man with great power, but little common sense. Then the new King Ole was put on the throne. Ole was a kind ruler, and like King Arthur, pulling the sword from the stone, he did the impossible and managed to get a good performance out of Paul Pogba.
Grandad, that's illegal now.
Sorry, boys. Old habits. What are you doing? He slayed the mighty Dragons of Cardiff, shooed the fearsome Huddersfield Terriers, and the Bournemouth Cherries. But a greater test lied ahead.
Oh no!
For in the north, he was to face the giants of Newcastle.
Oh, how big were they?
Sometimes this big. But there was still no match for the might of United. They swept them aside as Lukaku skillfully scuffed the ball home. And then there was one.
Who?
The fiercest of them all. Ruthless Reading. At 90 minutes they battled tooth and nail, with the valiant Phil Jones taking on the earth itself. And yet, Man United prevailed, advancing to the glory of the fourth round of the FA Cup.
Yes!
The victorious Reds laughed at all beneath them from the dizzying heights of 6th place. The end. Time for bed.
Oh no! Please, one more story before bed. A scary one.
Yeah, please. Okay, but you cannot tell your mother.
No.
This is the tale of Lukaku and his terrible first touch.
Yeah, the terrible first touch of Lukaku. It's really a horrifying story. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back after the break, we're going to talk about Manchester City's victory over Wolves, and we'll check out the Premier League standings. Don't forget, send us your voice notes. We have some, so we're going to be playing them after this break. So stay tuned.
We'll be right back after these messages. Don't forget to join the conversation. Send in your WhatsApp voice notes and messages via the numbers on the screen, or hit us a comment on the Facebook Live. We'd love to hear from you.
You're watching ACTN, The Voice. ACTN The Voice, your family-friendly station.
For better or worse, yeah. For better or worse, yeah. Yo, Trinidad and Tobago, this is your boy Nathaniel, and you are watching ACTN The Voice.
Welcome back to Football 101. So I just want to touch base to all the people who are on WhatsApp. We have a message from Mikel, and he actually says Rafa Benitez is a better manager than Unai Emery. Nikolai, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, maybe because of how much trophies he has won in the past, but you can't just down Emery like that as well. He might have had problems with players in PSG, and now he's still trying to figure out this Arsenal side. But at the end of the day,
he's the king of Europa.
Yeah.
So I think Unai won a lot of titles as well.
Yeah. But the thing about it is Benitez was thrown with big fish in a big pond, and he showed that he could let that down and blow it, and that's why he's back at Newcastle right now and trying to salvage his career. So I mean, at the same time, maybe Benitez part-time has gone, and Emery is still finding his way to create his career and his future and still going up the ladder, whereas Benitez is coming down the ladder.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that will probably put
I
things
don't
into
agree
perspective.
at all, actually. I think Benitez is a really good manager. I think if you put him with the Chelsea side, the Arsenal side, even I know the fans wouldn't like this, but the Manchester United, if Jose wasn't appointed and Rafa was, I think they'd be much better off now. I think he's worked a miracle with Newcastle, having them stayed up with their net spin. He's worked a miracle with Chelsea before as well, and us years before. So I think he's a really good manager. He knows the league really well. I can't remember the question if they think Rafa is better than Emery.
Yeah.
But in terms of the Prem, I'd go with Rafa any day.
Yeah. Especially from those Liverpool days.
Yeah.
As a Spanish fan, I have to back the Spanish coach, right? So, I mean...
So let's move on to the last game in the Premiership, Manchester City versus Wolves. It finished 3-0 to Manchester City. This was the late game played on Monday. Gabriel Jesus on the score sheet with 2, and our own goal was making it 3-0. But really nice to see Jesus back on the score sheet. I think the last 3 games that City played, it was a 7-0 win, a 9-0 win, now a 3-0 win. It looks as though ever since they defeated Liverpool in that game, they really have just gone off.
Well, they've gone on a run, but then again, who spends £1 billion on a club and doesn't go on a run, right? I just want to point out to the viewers, and I know they will agree with me. How is the Bowley challenge different from the company challenge on Salah a couple of weeks ago?
Has no difference
It's
whatsoever.
the same challenge, but they
Different
seem
player, that's what
they seem to get a rub of the green, in my
Mhm.
opinion. And playing Wolves with 10 men, it suits them with Adama Traore basically running into blind alleys,
Mhm.
you know. But really and truly, Manchester City is a machine. We know that.
Definitely.
You know, they are a machine, and Sane is fantastic, and Sterling is fantastic, and they have the depth, and they should be winning the league. I'm glad we're sitting pretty on top. But any day now, I am hoping that they will slip.
Yeah, I think there is one way they could slip. And Pep, speaking in some interviews, he said that they're not spending any money in January, which means Fernandinho, who they need a replacement for, isn't going to come until the end of the season. And we saw what happened in the Crystal Palace game and the Leicester City game with Manchester City, where Fernandinho was not there and they lost the game. So, and Pep actually said it. One of the interviewers asked him, so what about Fernandinho? And his response was just pray he doesn't get injured. So if Fernandinho gets injured, then it might be an even easier run for Liverpool to the Premier League title.
Well, at the end of the day, City have a deep squad. Yeah, they might be missing one player. He's a key player. But players like Gundogan and maybe other players to come in and rotate that midfield in such a way that they could still get the passes off, quick passing, quick movement, and allow the strikers to go on play. That's sometimes all City needs to create a play and reach in front of goal, and it's just a goal scoring opportunity, right? So maybe if they continue going along that route and just trying to not worry about what they're missing, but what they can do with the players that they have, because as he said, they have a deep squad because of the amount of the money they spend.
Yeah.
They have the players to fill any role that comes in. So as long as they keep going and keep that momentum, you never know. But at the end of the day, it's a tough game. Liverpool could slip, City could slip, but it's an open race. And it's there for the taking. It's whoever.
I don't agree with the Fernandinho thing. I tell you why. I think that, and we spoke about the Arsenal game briefly. Declan Rice is a centre-back. He's playing centre defensive midfield, plays out of his skin completely. He's man of the match by far, controls Arsenal, by the way, a young player. Pep Guardiola is the best manager in the world, right? I don't think it's hard for him to get Laporte or John Stones or one of them to play that defensive midfield role.
But the thing is, they tried it, and, well, they didn't use the players that you mentioned, but they tried to fill it, like what Nikolai said, with the Gundogans and the rest of them. But it didn't have that grit. It didn't have that player that will be willing to sit back and not run forward and hold that defensive midfield.
But my question is it every time something happens, if they're going to go into the market every single time, then you're going to end up with a squad of 25 players who all want to be in the first team?
Well, to be real, they have players for different positions. In this position, they actually don't have. You could literally say every other player has a person that's willing to take their spot.
But the coach must be able to fill that void with another player.
Yeah, definitely. But the producers say we need to stop talking about Manchester City, and we will go to the Premier League table. Let's bring it up quickly just to take a look at how it stands. We have Liverpool on top with 57 points, Manchester City behind them at 53, Spurs on 48, Chelsea on 47, and Arsenal on 41. And Manchester United round out the top 6 with 41 points, level on points with Arsenal. Let's bring up the fixtures for match week 23. We have the biggest game for that week. It has to be Arsenal versus Chelsea, which is going to take place on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. It's a really big game. It's basically 4th versus 5th. So a really big game to watch out there. So before we go to the break, we're just going to toss to another video. As it pertains to red cards and yellow cards, do you all know the history of how it started? No? Well, I guess. I guess now you'll figure it out. Let's go to that video. Yes, some really nice information there as it pertains to red, yellow cards, and green cards. I actually didn't know about that green card. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after this.
We'll be right back after these messages. Don't forget to join the conversation. Send in your WhatsApp voice notes and messages via the numbers on the screen, or hit us a comment on the Facebook Live. We'd love to hear from you.
ACTN The Voice, your family-friendly station.
What a pleasant good afternoon and welcome to Cloud 9 on ACTN The Voice. I am Sheldon Yerwood.
To bring some relief, to those who were badly affected.
Is that real best bike in Jasmine? I got to go. We feed into the soil, and how we water will determine the kind of fruit that we bear.
Lazy boat, lazy man.
El bote, hermano.
Thank you very much. God blessings to you, and of course, be safe.
Hi, this is Denise Plummer, and you're watching ACTN. There's no turning back, oh no, 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 no.
With Jesus on your side, that's the way to go. There's no turning back, oh no, 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 no. 'Cause there is nothing greater when Jesus give you favor. There's no turning back, oh no, no, no,
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACT, and it's always a pleasure to be in your company every Tuesday evening between the hours of 8 and 9.
Welcome back to Football 101. I'm Joshua De Matos. So we're going to go to another segment, Pitch on the News with Renata De Matos. Yeah, De Matos. You'll get it later. So let's go to that segment. She has some wonderful news about football and what happened in this past weekend. So let's go to it.
Kicking up right where we left off. See what I did there? No fun intended. Get it? Kicking, picking, fun, huh? Anyways, footy fans, this is the most wonderful time of the year. Well, for some clubs at least, we get to see the mighty race among club teams for players. It's almost like Christmas shopping, looking for that one special gift that would add much value to your life. Well, that's one way to look at it, but how much are you worth? Whether you've been tagged at £100 million like Eden Hazard by Premier League's top contender Chelsea, or hung out for a good bit among Serie A giants Juventus and Inter Milan like Arsenal's Mesut Ozil, or been breathing in traces of Manchester United's favorite ex-manager Mourinho at the Bernabeu, nothing tops it like this week's most shocking transfer revelations and rumours like Arsenal midfielder Aaron Ramsey to Juventus, Juventus striker Gonzalo Higuain, who is on a loan at AC Milan to Chelsea, Turkey winger Jensig Under from Roma to Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, or Bayern Munich, Netherlands winger Arno Danjuma Gronewald from Club Brugge to Liverpool, Tottenham, or Everton, Bristol Rovers defender Michael Kelly to West Ham, Fulham signed Ryan Babel from Best Cheetahs. What's going on with that hair, though? Perhaps he should do a new team, new me, new hair look. I'm really not feeling that red hair. It's been a while, Babel. You should get a new style. Anyways, back to minding my business. Speaking of minding your business, let's talk spy fiasco. Head coach of Leeds United, Marcelo Bielsa, is taking responsibility of the recent little mishap at Derby County last week, which sparked the launch of an official investigation by the EFL. Just hours before the Leeds versus Derby clash, a member of Leeds staff was caught lurking around at the Derby training ground. The EFL have since written to Leeds to look into the matter. Leeds management issued an apology to Derby, also stating that Bielsa would be reminded of his responsibility to comply with the club's principles of integrity and honesty. On a lighter note, Leeds came away victorious 2-0 to Derby last Friday, guessing he's not only good at spying and winning, but now set to close a deal with Real Madrid's Kiko Casilla. The 32-year-old's four-season tenure may be coming to an end. Bielsa's first transfer for the season should place Casilla in a place to shine at his club. Of course, that's every footballer's dream. One would think that football stardom would mean the escape of the saltiness of this world. Think again. Football god, five-time Ballon d'Or winner, scoring 539 goals total in his career, and still does not escape the saltiness of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. About challenging. Juve a challenge? Cristiano Ronaldo's statement suggesting that his move to Juventus was because he enjoyed the challenge did not sit well with Ibra, who fired back at the former Madrid player, saying Ronaldo talks about challenges, but he decided to go to a club who has been winning the Serie A title with their eyes closed. Why did he not choose a club from a second division a few years ago, try to become a champion with such a second division club and lead them to the highest level? Moving to Juventus is not a challenge at all. Is it just me, or are you guys interested in Ronaldo's response to Ibra? Now on to the guy whose parents could not resist the temptation of naming him after a large swirling storm, Harry Kane. The English captain is out until March, following an injury he collected at Sunday's defeat to Manchester United. Scans reveal Kane damaged ligaments on his left ankle. Kane will miss Carabao Cup's semi-final leg versus Chelsea on January 24th and the final on February 24th should Spurs make it. After a 5-month goal drought, Gabriel Jesus has finally netted not one, but 2 goals against Everton last month. Jesus, who said his confidence is up since then, has not disappointed his club, hitting 7 goals in 3 appearances at Monday's game against the Wolves. Cutting Liverpool's lead back 4 points, Jesus said, "We are second in the Premier League and we want to win it. We need to go to the pitch in every single game and win it. We need to keep going, working hard and playing well if we want it to be us. Watch out Huddersfield, Jesus is coming for you." That's it for your football news updates. I'm Renata Singh. Keep your head in the game.
All right, thank you so much, Renata, for that pitch on the news. We're going to actually head across to another segment. First one for the year, FIFA 4C with Nicholas B. Harry Lal. It's actually going to be previewing the Arsenal versus Chelsea game, which is coming up this weekend. So let's go straight to FIFA 4C, the first one for the year with Nicholas B. Harry Lal.
Welcome everyone to another segment of FIFA 4C, and I am Nicholas Biharlal here to preview another FIFA match. And it's been a while since we've been here, but we're back and back on track. And today I have a special guest, Jordan Ramuta. Jordan, how does it feel to be back?
Well, last time I got licked, so I'll come back for revenge.
For revenge, right. And you're playing with your side today, Chelsea.
Chelsea, yes.
Right, and we're previewing Chelsea versus Arsenal in the Premier League. So, anything that you're hoping for in this clash?
I hope we win.
Yeah, you want to keep the top 4 race on, right?
Yeah, keep the top 4 race on.
And what are your thoughts on Chelsea this season? I mean, you all have had some poor performances compared to the beginning of the league.
The last couple of games was tough, but that is the difference when you have a good striker.
Yeah.
So.
And I think Sarri's tactics, he needs to change his tactics a bit.
Yeah, he needs to do some tweaking.
Because when you have the likes of Hazard on your side and he's not being used to his fullest potential.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough support.
And he is the one actually bailing you all out at times too, huh?
Every year.
Every season. So we're going to preview this match and we'll see how this one goes.
Mm.
All right, so this match is about to start. And best of luck.
Yeah, same to you.
Hopefully
you lose.
Hopefully FIFA doesn't act like FIFA. Do you know how that could go? Arsenal pack about the ball. Give it to Aubameyang. Give it back to Aubameyang. Done.
Big back. Oh my God, that's a terrible ball like that.
And you can see I don't have Mustafi in goal, and that's on purpose. Come on. Well done.
Kick.
That was free kick though.
That was a good free kick.
That was all ball, referee. All ball. Again.
Oh. Yeah, no shot.
No shot. Ball. Whoa.
Free kick. Free kick. Yeah.
Promising game. I think Arsenal will be looking to win it, but it could be tough for them.
Ooh, boy.
Oh no,
man.
Oh no, William.
Step overs.
Slide tackle.
Shot. Goal, boy.
That was such a poor goal.
That's such a great
poor work goal. Totally fluke.
Bam. Okay, there. Bam.
You see what happened there with that slide tackle? It was supposed to clip both legs.
Ball.
Hey, they're offside, boy.
What a goal.
They're offside. We talk about.
What a goal. What a chip.
That's goal?
Yes.
That's not right.
Keep stuff over.
I'm not taking this seriously,
Bam.
I'm taking this game
straight
seriously.
into the net.
Aubameyang looking like Sunil from Pinal.
Oh.
Sunil from Pinal.
Hey, ball boy.
Or Rakesh from Faizabad. Man, you so weak.
Tackle the ball.
Look.
Goal.
Somebody needs to get the ball
A jam.
out.
Getting past defense. Hey, ball goal. Hey, hit the tackle. No.
Goal boy! Thank you! Jeez! That was not a fluke, that was a well-worked goal. You see when I bring that from the wide to the center, that little chuck on.
Hey, I have 2 goals after that. I was like, what a beat.
Winning at half-time, they still have the lead. Cutting in now.
Take the shot. Hey, what a tackle.
On the clock, 8 more minutes. Anticipated the direction of the pass and was able to intervene.
Header.
Now Mkhitaryan, guided through by Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Oh, no!
That's where it's going.
It could lead to the equaliser this late on. They won't have many more chances.
Cool.
Could have been a really important
Yes,
pass at
ball.
this stage.
Auntie, you doing? Yeah, go.
Alex Iwobi.
Yes, Jorginho. Pass.
What? No.
Please.
That is Phil.
Please.
That is Phil.
Now, can he take them on?
Kanjiru. Oh,
Kanjiru what?
get the goal. 2-1.
2-1 at the end of the game. So I really think Chelsea was lucky on that day. I can see some wonderful tackles from Mkhitaryan and Bellerin to score some yellow cards.
2-1.
2-1 at the end of the game. So I really think Chelsea was lucky on that day. I can see some wonderful tackles from Mkhitaryan and Bellerin to score some yellow cards. Yeah, Chelsea, put in 2 goals, 2 fine work goals at the beginning, and then Arsenal coming back with a 1 goal
just 8.
comeback. I think Arsenal won that game though, even though it was 2-1.
I don't think.
Yeah. So there you have it for this match. We predict that Arsenal is going to lose out to Chelsea on that day, 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think it's quite possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, once they
That
play.
seems like a perfect score.
Yeah, once the defense clicks that day and Kante shows up. Because, as you can see from this game, once Kante plays good, any team just can't play through the middle again.
Sure.
So there you have it for this segment of FIFA 4C. And tune in to next week, and we'll also be previewing another match. It is Manchester United versus Arsenal in the FA Cup draw. So that will be a tough game for Arsenal. To say, For Arsenal, yeah, because so not from so not from Pedal, you see. So not from Pedal, yeah. So there you have it for FIFA 4C for this week, and tune in to next week where you will join us once again.
Welcome back to Football 101. So, well done there, Jordan. I know Nick didn't like to be defeated on the first episode of 4C for 2019. So FIFA 4C predicts that Chelsea will actually defeat Arsenal by 2-1. Personally, and the guys agreed with me here. I would prefer a 1-1 or 2-2, as long as it's a draw. So that way Manchester United could make up some points and reach that top 4. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're talking La Liga. You don't want to miss it.
We'll be right back after these messages. Don't forget to join the conversation. Send in your WhatsApp voice notes and messages via the numbers on the screen, or hit us a comment on the Facebook Live. We'd love to hear from you.
You're watching ACTN, The Voice. Connect with ACTN The Voice on Facebook or Instagram at ACTN The Voice. ACTN The Voice, your family-friendly station.
Welcome back to Football 101. So I'm just checking back the WhatsApp board here, and we have someone saying Huddersfield letting go David Wagner after promotion and beating Survival last season is an injustice. Should have helped him in the transfer window.
Nah, I think we have to understand what David Wagner and the club said it on their website. What he's done for that club, they've never achieved in 50 years. He brought them from where they were.
Yeah.
And I think he just went in, and if you read it carefully, he went into the owner and said, I'm tired. I don't think I could carry the team any further. And usually when you see the managers left by mutual consent, is normally they sack the manager. But in this case, I think it is that Wagner has really decided to pack up, and the board has agreed with him. But what he's done for them is crazy in achieving what he has. But I don't think it's an injustice like what that guy is saying.
Yeah. Thanks, Mikel, for that comment. So we're going to switch our focus onto La Liga and touch on the 3 games in La Liga. Atletico, Barcelona, and Real Madrid all coming away with victories this past weekend. So let's start off. I think the main talking point has to be, well, for me, Real Madrid and this Isco fiasco. Since Solari took over Real Madrid, it's looked as though he was not in favor. And in this game, Real Madrid had so much injuries, it was like a no-brainer to play Isco. And still, he didn't get to play.
Solari have a personal vendetta against Isco for whatever reason or the other. But to restrict such a talented player, and he's an important player for Real, look at what he's done in the past for them. For him to go through, this is another one of Real's great players that get overlooked once more by the club. Might be this one or that one, but
yeah.
The appreciation for these players, they have so much talent, but yet they're not getting the opportunity to go out there and show, or they're getting restricted to show their potential. And that sometimes that can go to the players and maybe push them towards the exit door, even though they wouldn't.
I can't fathom to think what did he do?
Could be a Mauro Icardi situation.
That's honestly, I honestly wondering if it's something to that extent, because it's like...
I think Isco actually, I was just telling Nikolai, I think Isco is going to actually, if he doesn't leave, he'll wait out Solari, because he knows that at the Bernabeu, they don't keep managers for that long, especially managers who are not big names. Although Solari is a great player, he'll wait it out. So I think it's either he goes or he just waits out Solari.
Yeah, definitely. Let's switch to Barcelona. They were 3-0 winners over Ibar, Suarez, and Messi on the score sheet. So,
but it was Coutinho who had the stellar game, because Coutinho finally broke into the starting 11.
I know you're waiting to let all this out. So
finally,
go ahead.
Coutinho break into the starting 11. But what was interesting is that how he took the game to the next side. He broke the defensive lines going through. He linked up great with Suarez. Now, you could say Suarez is playing more with Coutinho than with Dembele, because sometimes Dembele tries to play with Suarez, but he would not get back the ball. But as you could see, Suarez playing the 1-2 with Coutinho, bringing back the old Liverpool flavor that they had, the teamwork, the chemistry working for them.
Smiling.
But what I also appreciate in this game as well is the rotations that the coach made, finally. You actually saw Coutinho and Dembele on the same side at some point, which is what a lot of Barca fans and a lot of fans wanted to see, how these two would actually play on the same side together. So moving forward, you could say they're still trying to figure out what they have, the different firepower that they can bring. But it's good just to keep going. They have a little lead on the La Liga table. So now they're focusing on themselves and trying to see what they can tweak, what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses moving forward.
So as you see the Barcelona highlights there, I just want to mention the table. Barcelona on top with 43 points, Atletico right behind them, who were 1-0 winners over Levante with 38, and Sevilla in third place with 33, Real Madrid rounding off the top 4 with 33 points as well. I just want to touch base as we move away from La Liga, a little back to the Premiership. We have to make mention this morning, it was announced that Petr Cech will actually be retiring at the end of this season. Now, Petr Cech, a wonderful goalkeeper. Mainly, you would say his better days were at Chelsea. This horrific injury that took place to him.
202 clean sheets in the Premier League. That alone says a lot for a goalkeeper.
And coming back from that injury, and I think he was known for that headpiece. Like, seeing him there, you don't know, but you know who that guy is, right? What are your thoughts on him? It's really
a fantastic keeper. Like he showed that even though you can suffer such a serious injury, that if you want to show yourself and show your talent on this stage of the game, he can prove himself one-on-ones. He was there. So
I just think it really set a marker for Chelsea after the Abramovich takeover. Him going they going out and buying Petr Cech, a relatively unknown player at the time, and it didn't have all these YouTube scouts and so on at that time.
Yeah.
So it was a great buy, and it proved to be a legend in the making, and playing behind John Terry and Carvalho and Makelele obviously would help.
Definitely.
But I mean, he was a great keeper, and those Chelsea sides were great defensive teams, and mainly because it's, and you know, well, I don't have to tell you, but you have a great keeper in David De Gea, and once you have that, it goes throughout the team. It brings that
confidence
solidity.
loses through the side because they say, you know, you're back safe.
We have Alisson.
Yeah.
To stay on the side. Yeah.
So we've come to the end of another show, but yes, Petr Cech is leaving at the end of the season, and it's sad to see him go. I honestly thought he probably would have gone to probably another lower team and spent, because he's only 36. He likes Buffon and Van der Sar played until they were 40 years old. But
remember, he had a head injury, so you never knew that took off some years as well.
True. So tough luck to see him go, but we have some wonderful memories to remember. So thank you so much for watching Football 101. Thank you so much for Nikolai and Marcus for making it possible. To the Football 101 crew, I just want to say thank you as well. Don't forget, check out the repeats every Wednesday and every Thursday at 6 p.m. My name is Joshua DeMatos, and this is Football 101, where we bring the feel directly to your home.